Hello, everyone. All I got from that was the after party. Very excited about that. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I'll dive right into the presentation. So first, I would like to take you back to 2006, when the Motorola Razr was the most popular phone back in the day. Elf.me was the most popular website where you could put a picture of yourself and then elf and do a little dance of the elf. I'm a pro, but I will not do it right now. Mark Zuckerberg had a great idea of launching a small company called Facebook back then. And my choice of hairstyle was very scary. But at the same time, these two friends of mine and my business partners were at university creating some of the first XR experiences. Nico with this funny QR code headset, spatial computing, testing spatial computing, and Franz developing a mixed reality headset. I have to say, these were true pioneers in the topic. There were many people working in this field. You can find a few of them here in the crowd today. But yeah, for sure, they were really, it was very cool to see how the industry progressed. I met them back then. We started the company 13 years ago. And now we're getting to this view, right, where this is something we just launched a couple of weeks ago as a concept for the Apple device being launched next year. The virtual try-on is actually accurate. The rest is all CGI, let's say, but it's not real. But that's the future, right? You'll be able to sit in your living room, look at a product, try it on, and that's where we're heading. Now, just like Tim Cook said, we believe augmented reality is going to change the way we use technology forever, whether we interact with it, play with it, or learn from it. Now, still, I would say that many of the clients currently, or people, think that the main challenges are hardware limitations, software limitations, and budget or pricing. And I would argue the biggest challenge after 13 years of doing this is mindset, where we have the technology, it's not perfect, but you cannot rely on technology when it's perfect to deploy it. I think you need to start testing here and there. Over the years, we've been working in multiple very complex scenarios. So here you'd be seeing an employee with mixed reality headsets from HoloLens. We can overlay IoT data thanks to PTC's technology, Vuforia, real-time data that can then show the employee what they need to do step by step if they need to repair this machine. So this is quite advanced because you can basically bridge the gap between someone who has very little knowledge and someone who has all the knowledge. With Infinity, we've been creating experiences to train the sales dealers. So in this case, you want the sales teams to understand the technologies hidden inside the vehicle. So here we overlay the data in 3D. And there's many more projects that we've been doing over the years which are very glamorous, but the reality is that these projects take a lot of resources. You need to be involved as a developer, as an UX, UI. You have to have pretty hefty budgets in some cases. And so we believe the future of digitalization may come to looking at tasks or jobs that are very low skilled to begin with and that don't require very expensive hardware. And the beauty of the technology that we can rely on today is digital twins. And so I'll explain to you how it is our approach. Our 4 rules for developing technologies nowadays. Of course, we have clients that want really crazy and cool things in XR. Again, they have unlimited budgets. But what happens when the client doesn't have unlimited budget? So we have 4 rules. Can we develop now software that doesn't depend on developers every time you want to change something? Can it have multiple hardware entry points? If you want to spend money on the HoloLens 2 or just a simple iPhone with AR, could this be a way for you to start saving money in your company? So making it super affordable as a license, and it must be used on a daily basis, so you can prove an ROI for the clients. So one of the slogans we've created as a company doing this is we want to enable a virtual training and supervising manager through augmented reality, where we're combining both digital twins and augmented reality, and we want to make this as easy as it can be for anyone to use it without having any technical background. So I'll give you the challenge. Imagine that you have any location, whether it's this huge venue or an airport or a factory or a 7-Eleven or a tiny convenience store with or a burger place. Can we deploy AR and start saving money with these technologies? Now, all of these, sorry, I jumped too quickly. All of these locations, they need people with different skill levels. From someone who cleans the toilet to someone who fixes a refrigerator or someone who's fixing a machine. Can we cater to all these people with augmented and mixed reality? Currently, the way that people are being trained and remotely managed, I would say, is with paper checklist or with in-person training, which we believe actually augmented reality can already solve as a problem. What we're suggesting to clients is to look at technologies that are ready to use in the market. I would say that companies like ours, which by the way, we're not the only one, as far as we know, we are the only one who started 13 years ago that's bootstrapped. So we didn't have any external investors. We basically grew our company through profits, through clients around the world, in Japan, Europe, and the US. And that led us to have a lot of expertise. But I'm sure you'll find if you walk through the floor, many companies offering similar solutions, so not similar solutions, offering solutions that you can already deploy within your organizations. I would encourage you to test all of them and see what works for you. So the way we are now targeting our clients is, instead of going to the huge automotive factories that have 120 billion euros of revenue, have unlimited budgets, we now want to target companies like 7-Eleven in Japan. 7-Eleven has 77,000 locations worldwide. Every location has very low-skilled workers that clean toilets, fill in the refrigerators, do multiple tasks, and it's sometimes boring. Can we help them digitalize these tasks? Of course, we're also looking at bigger scenarios. So the first thing is, you can now create digital twins through companies like Navis. So Navis is a Munich-based company where you can actually scan a physical location and create a LiDAR scan. Or you can use Matterport scanners to create your digital twins. Or you can even use our own app powered by Vuforia to create digital twins. The second step is for you to imagine, so you scan your 7-Eleven or your burger restaurants, you import your digital twin, and we have a 3D tool where you can align and create virtual training tasks or checklists for any of the employees within the organization. And that's it. From then on, all the employee needs to do is they need to have an augmented reality or mixed reality headset, and the system will guide them from one place to another and show them what they need to do at what given time. And what we're doing here is we're empowering anyone to literally scan their physical location and then create and digitalize any kind of training and maintenance routine, even if the employee is in all over in a location really remote across the planet. So as I was saying, this is what is really exciting for me. This is a client that has multiple convenience stores in Mexico. These are very, very low margin locations. During COVID, what they did was they asked the employees to digitalize all their convenience stores. And now from New York, where the couple lives, and some of the managers, they can remotely manage all these employees. We're talking about people who earn $300 a month in salary. However, every single day, they're using augmented reality to train their staff, and then the employees have to use these kind of systems to guarantee they're in a certain location at a given time, proving that they did the task. And if they don't know how to do it, the system can upload, you can upload videos, you can upload PDFs, you can upload multiple things. And of course, it looks quite basic right now, but we know the future, as I showed you at the beginning. We know where we're going. We're going to the place where you can have smart glasses, you can have IoT data and flying all these 3D elements, but that is unattainable right now. It's too expensive. The hardware requirements are too high. So we believe that this can solve many of the challenges. We already have clients in heavy industry who are using our technologies because that is our background. We came from heavy industry and automotive factories that have super complex scenarios. I cannot show you the mixed reality version of this factory due to confidentiality reasons, but they are also using smartphones. We're talking about an iPhone that is $300 to digitalize all your infrastructure. So if you're looking at the way that these clients are looking at it, you can now digitalize a whole factory by just scanning a physical location and deploying mixed reality augmented reality hardware or mixed reality hardware. You don't need to install a single sensor, no Bluetooth beacons, no expensive cameras. The digitalization efforts when it comes to AR and digital twins, we think is quite affordable. And that's why we have now had a higher demand of clients that we never thought would be using these kind of systems. This is one of the biggest in the world franchises of pizzas. And there's still a lot of manual work that needs to be verified. In Mexico, for example, the utility companies, sometimes the analog machine doesn't work, or here they need to make sure that every certain number of hours they take a picture of the temperature of the food. All of these can be used for insurance purposes. Because if you have a paper checklist or a PDF checklist, how can you guarantee the employee was there at that location? With the system, the employee has to be guided to a certain location before they can activate their checklists. We're seeing examples where customers are asking us to help their staff in scenarios where they can't remember everything. So for example, this employee, 3 times a day, they need to check that the stock is well aligned, well placed, in the correct manner that has been stipulated by the brand that is paying a lot of money to have this displayed in this sense. We're now seeing luxury brands that are using digital twins and mixed reality to train their employees. In this case, what we want to make sure is that the younger staff understands the legacy of a product. Why am I charging 50,000 euros for a watch? Well, because this has been developed over and over and over for over many years. It's not only all the diamonds, beautiful diamonds and beautiful design it has. There is a logic, if you're into watches, of why these watches may have that price. The system is so easy to use that now we're seeing even office buildings. This is the ICC building, which has 108 floors. There are 274,000 square meters that were digitalized by the client. It took them less than a week to digitalize all that area. And currently, all the security, maintenance, and cleaning staff are being trained with mixed reality, but on a daily basis, they're executing their tasks with a smartphone. I find this extraordinary, that we have people cleaning toilets using AR. I really think that we've come to a point where there is no justification for using AR within your organization. The hospital authorities have been looking into these technologies. These nurses work under a lot of stress, especially during COVID. This nurse has to prepare a surgical room for someone giving birth or a brain surgery or a knee surgery. Everything changes the whole setup. With the systems, the nurse is guided from one floor into another, and they ensure that she cannot go to the next step until she ensures that the protocol has been followed. So again, she can never make a mistake. For her, it's a relief. Before, if she made a mistake, maybe someone's life could be put in jeopardy. This is a great example of a client in Japan. They are doing gaming rooms, so children come here, imagine 200 children from a school, and they climb walls and they play with all these things. In Japan, people actually follow the processes very strictly, but for insurance purposes, if any of the kids has an accident because maybe the harness broke, they have a hard time proving whose fault it was. With this kind of systems, you have a complete digitalization of every single one of the processes without having to have complex camera systems or just hardware retrofits, which are just unattainable right now. This is another example of clients who've been using this. I have to specify this first part of the video is not ours, but the second part will be. But this is just to show that you can actually also scan physical objects. So this company in Mexico, they build these forklifts. And what they do is they want the client, when they sell the forklift, they want the client to verify that certain components are being checked every month. And with this, they can extend the warranty of the product. And actually, I jumped one part before that. What they also want is the employee to verify that the components of the forklift have been built according to the specifications of the clients, because every forklift is different. Hospitality industry, they struggled a lot during COVID, the COVID pandemic. We're seeing now 5-star hotels train people with mixed reality. So again, it's much easier for them. They can scan one single room. These rooms architecturally are very similar. So you scan one room and you can deploy the mixed reality experience into 200 rooms. So the employees are trained with mixed reality, and on a daily basis, they are being asked to do a follow-up with the smartphones. And yeah, I mean, now I'm just showing you a few more examples. This is a gym. In a gym, every client has different necessities. Requirements in a gym is more about health and safety, or I would say cleanliness. You want to make sure that the toilets were clean every so often. You want to make sure the fire extinguishers are in the right place every month, and this is sent directly to the insurance company. You want to make sure the equipment has been aligned. So yeah, all of this is now being digitalized with kind of systems. Where we see this technology is going from here, we see this technology is moving to a point where, again, anyone can access it, regardless of hardware. So it could be a $250 phone or $4,000 smart glasses. We think that's key. Secondly, we're making it super affordable in our strategy. We're saying, if you have a 7-Eleven or a burger joint or a small restaurant, we'll charge you $300 per month. And with this price, you can digitalize and train all your employees, unlimited number of employees, unlimited number of checklists, making it super simple on the pricing side. Because coming from the complex side, pricing is also an issue, right? Every time a client wants to do something cool, we have these amazing experiences, but pricing is always like, oh my God. Every time a client is like, how much does it cost? I start sweating because I don't even know how to price the whole thing. With this, it's very simple. But the third thing is, we believe that we have to entertain or somehow motivate employees to have a fun job in the future. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with this video. Oh, did I jump the video? Oh, it's there. So imagine in the future your staff, when they have these routine and mundane jobs, repetitive tasks, they will not just be following instructions on a daily basis, but they'll actually be playing games. So you could tell the employee, listen, today you have to do a maintenance routine within the gym. If you do it 3 times faster because you play this game, you're going to get a bonus, for example. That's one thing. Secondly, you can create dynamic routing. Currently, the way that we are training and remotely assigning tasks for employees is very structured. So every day at 9 a.m., John, come and check if the fire extinguisher has been cleaned. At 10 a.m., go and clean the glass. At 11 a.m., make sure the Coca-Cola is in the refrigerator. Every single day, the same thing over and over again. In the future with AI and augmented reality, what we hope is the more data we have, the system could tell the employee, listen, today you're going to start in the 10th floor because there's a light bulb missing. And now you're going to the basement and you're going to press a button. And now you're going to the... So dynamic routing could be very powerful when you have augmented reality, because the employee will not have a static, monotonous routine. It will always be changing. I think I spoke too fast. I have like 9 minutes left. So I got too excited. I'm sorry. I did the whole thing extremely fast. So yeah, this is the last slide. So anyway, hopefully there's a few questions in the crowd. Feel free to ask me any questions now or later on. We can have a beer. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the quick talk.
A round of applause for David Castaneda.
Thank you.
That's quite impressive. Everything that you've been telling us, actually even faster than we were planning to. So now let's open the Q&A session. Feel free. You were supposed to have just 5 minutes. Now you're going to have probably double. So the gentleman over here.
Thank you. Very nice presentation. Very interesting topic. My name is Simon. Question on the mobile device. We in our company have more or less saying, don't be mobile when on mobile. Means from the safety perspective. If we watch the screen on the mobile and you walk, then maybe you will fall down or I don't know, something on the ground. Is there any idea to develop this in future to, I don't know, to make it more safe?
Yeah, so I think definitely in factory environments, you cannot be having something on your hands. It's just too dangerous. We have a client producing wind turbines, like this melting, like anyway, it's insane, right? So it's not going to happen. There are some areas where if the employee is, let's say, in a small room, then you can use a smartphone. So we cater to both from our point of view. But as I said, we also want to target now the companies like 7-Eleven. There is no risk of you walking around with a smartphone in a convenience store. And that's one of the things. Because we truly believe that the benefits of deploying this into a factory, you would need to buy so many headsets that financially is not viable at this stage to a certain extent. Whilst if we start, again, if I convince 7-Eleven of doing 77,000 stores with digital twins and augmented reality, not only will I be a very happy man, but it also proves that AR is at that point where we can really deploy the technology at a mass level on the B2B side. I would say that the biggest limitation in our industry is hardware. Software has been addressed, like PTC is amazing. You look at Euphoria's technology, it's extraordinary. So I would say that it's more of a testing here and there. We've got factories that have HoloLens glasses for many of the routines, but in some areas it does make sense to maybe have a smartphone, for example. So yeah, it's a tricky bit for factories, but you're right, it's not. If you look at the market right now, I would argue, because you have many companies who say, we do augmented and mixed reality. And all they do is they play a video on the display. That's not augmented reality, right? Augmented reality is using spatial computing to show navigation. I would argue the only company right now who can enable this is maybe 2 companies, Microsoft HoloLens and Magic Leap headsets. All right. But they're both not perfect, right? So I hope my message to everyone is, I don't know if we are your best partner, by the way. Maybe you don't like me. Many people don't like me. Maybe you do. But I do think the industry has matured so much that if you're a B2B client, if you're a company that is now having to train people and manage people, you should jump into this topic. Because what you don't want to happen is your competitors will jump into this topic earlier than you, and then they will develop an infrastructure earlier than you do. So you have less competitiveness, right? I would suggest everyone who has any kind of training maintenance routine should already start exploring how to use XR within their organization as a foundation. Not everything may work, but at least if you know where you're standing, you could say, you know what, this doesn't work for me, but let's review it in 6 months. This industry keeps moving so fast, I'm telling you, every 6 months you'll see innovations. It's so interesting. Yeah.
I guess the question was pretty well answered. Is there any other question that you have? Oh, by the way, I really appreciate that you're putting spatial everywhere. I work in the space industry, and I think this kind of application will be perfect for firefighters, for pilots or for astronauts.
My friends here would agree.
I want to ask you a question. I was really interested in your comment about, when you show the big tower, the skyscraper, and you reference that nowadays we are in a point that is kind of easy and cheap. So I want to get into the numbers to scan like big objects using augmented reality and AI. We have clients in the Navy world, so big cruise ships and so on. So and then we can think about millions of users of the experiences you for both cleaning, training, maintenance, even the users, everyone. But the question is, in order to have the Disneyland, meaning the model, the actionable model, what would be the real time frame and cost, order of magnitude? Thank you.
I think we need to have some beers, you and I later. We talk about the cost later.
Yeah, because we just have actually 3 minutes left.
3 minutes, but I will tell you one challenge that you have in your industry, which is very sad for me, but we need to solve together. I was at the Disney cruise ship with my family, and I was like, this is a perfect scenario. A cruise ship, you have theater, you have restaurants, you have toilets, you have everything, right? And the augmented reality doesn't work because you have gyroscopes. So when the ship is moving, AR doesn't stay still, even though you think you're still, right? AR is very complex. So we're testing a few things due to my horrible experience with AR, and I nearly cried, not because Mickey Mouse wasn't there, but because I couldn't use AR on the ship. I think that there's a way to solve it, but we should discuss it. Because you're right, it is a perfect scenario. You have a ship in the middle of nowhere, anything goes wrong, what do? You have the expert on board. But it is a challenging scenario, but I think it's one that I would love to solve with someone in the industry, for sure. Okay,
so we got the invitation. Let's grab a beer with David after the call.
More than one.
Talk. But in the meantime, last question. Anyone in the audience? Or maybe okay, please. Otherwise, I would have asked the question.
This is a friend of mine. I asked him to do it. That's why.
Yes, I'm trying. Hi, my name is Jolt. I'm from PTC Vuforia team. And we are very glad that you are encapsulating our core technology in such a nice way and such an embedded way for the end customers to solve their real problems. You touched upon something very interesting, which is the combination of AI and AR for this dynamic routing topic. We also believe, these two technologies can really benefit from each other. And my question would be, where do you see beyond the dynamic routing potential to use AI in combination with AR applications, or the specific topic of teaching, training, inspecting spaces?
Yeah, so that's a great question. There's a franchise in the US called What's a Burger? They have 800 locations. No one has heard of What's a Burger here. They have 800 restaurants. Imagine this, okay? When we were talking when you talk to these kind of companies, if you look at a Pizza Hut, BMW showroom, or whatever, it's so funny how many of the routines are similar. Clean this, clean that, clean that. I think AI can already prepare many of these routines, because in the end, you're handling people. So you could just say, I work in the automotive industry, and I have an automotive showroom. It could already 73% of the routines will be very similar. So AI can help with these kind of things, make it smarter every time. So you don't have to spend time inputting all the digitalizing the routines or the training routines. I think AI will also eventually, hopefully, help us understand better the user. So if David from Colombia is using it, or Rio from Tokyo is using it, the visual experience should be different. How can I motivate someone through AI based on their likes, on their not likes, the voice that they like, the things that bring them back to their childhood? I think that's going to be very interesting, AI with motivation. And the third part is, I'm really looking forward to the day where our software is intelligent enough to do predictive analysis and give solutions better than the ones that are being offered right now. So meaning, I presume that the best thing is to clean this light bulb, but what if the best thing would be to replace it with a new lamp, a new technology? I think AI could help with this in the future also.
And on these words, let's give a round of applause to David Castaneda from Visionary 777.